time to review team defense. What's going on, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of Sharks Latest. I'm your host, Jimmy, here to bring you everything regarding your favorite hockey team. If you don't want to miss anything, Team Teal, hit that subscribe button below and you'll be part of the Sharks Latest family. Don't forget the notification bell as well. So yesterday's video, we did our off-season transition, basically, reviewing the team offense, their statistics, what the team looked like as a whole offensive unit. Today, we'll be doing that same thing for the defense. And now San Jose Sharks fans knows this very well, especially if you've been watching Sharks Latest. Defense is the biggest need for the San Jose Sharks and absolutely going to be where you are going to see GM Mike Grier probably spend most of his time and attention trying to right the ship. When it came to the offense, we did mention there are going to be some new additions, but a lot of the focus would be more on getting the youngsters to turn the new tide and get them some more experience with coaching and play. Defense, there will be a little bit of that, but there are so many expiring contracts and such a big need to improve. This is the category where you are, if there are going to be the opportunities for it, you probably will see the most new faces coming to the San Jose Sharks on the blue line. So, last season, it was a mixture of a few things why the San Jose Sharks had defense be their downfall, if you will. You know, one had to do with the youth, right? They did have some youngsters out there. There was a lot of experimentation that was done this season with the San Jose Sharks. We were talking a lot about it with the multiple different offensive forward lines that Coach Warsofsky was implementing. Well, same thing did go for the defense, especially down the stretch as well. You did see Sam Dickinson get more and more playing time. He moved around a little bit to try and find where he was going to be the right fit back there. And then, of course, the Sharks called up Luca Cagnoni eventually, and so the same thing kind of happened with him. So, you know, it was like Warsofsky was kind of stuck playing matchmaker at the end of the season with the defense to try and figure out, well, what's going to be a really good combination that we want to see going into the offseason and maybe the next season as well. So that's one part of it. I do believe that some of the vets that we had maybe weren't the best for teaching the youngsters the ropes, if you will. So that's something that we'll talk about later on in the offseason when it comes to the individual players, who we want to see return on the defense, who we might want to see leave that was here last season, and then, of course, looking at free agency draft and how we can improve this defense with other additional pieces. But let's focus on the team right now, and let's focus on, well, how the defense did this season, and unfortunately was not that good at all. Let's take a look at the first statistic here, y'all. Goals allowed this season for the defense, that was 290, or just north of 3.5 goals per game. That is a lot. And 30th in the NHL. So there's a lot to give when it comes to that. There is a lot of improving that has to be done and will be done for the San Jose Sharks when it comes to that. Also, 27th in the NHL in shots on goal allowed. That's 29.6 a game. So almost 30 shots allowed on goal per game. Another very high number that we just do not want to see. Another one that is going to reflect on the San Jose Sharks and their defense ability is the defensive zone time. So yesterday we talked about the offensive zone time. Now it's the defense. This is the amount of time that the puck sits in the defensive zone. You don't want that. You don't want that puck in your defensive zone. You want it to be in the offensive zone. So the San Jose Sharks were 23rd in the NHL. Give them some credit, right? Not at the complete end of the pack or towards the end of the pack in that regard, but 41.8% still. There is some room for improvement. And so That's the first need, is some veteran help. And, if you want to, question of the day maybe, go ahead and comment below. Do you have an individual in mind that you think you want on the San Jose Sharks blue line to help out with these youngsters? Get them more experience, get them those reps. It's always great when you have, and that's what you saw, always good when you have a vet to help out the youngsters, and that was very common. When you did see the youngsters playing, you never saw Kenyoni on the same line as Dickinson. It was always Dickinson and Ferraro and Kenyoni and Desharnais and, a mixture of a youngster and a veteran. And we're probably going to continue that going into next season. Just interested to see. Will it be Ferraro coming back to teach? Will it be Vinny Desharnais coming back to teach? Klingberg, Leddy? Or are we going to go look at a veteran, make a trade? GM Mike Greer did just say in an interview he is not afraid to trade and package both first-round draft picks that the San Jose Sharks have, if that is going to allow them to get a player to really help progress this team in the future. So that's an opportunity as well. Even though we're not talking about individual players just yet, you have the right to. Sharks latest fans, hit me with a comment below. Let me know who you want to see on the blue line helping out our youngsters going forward. Now, the second need that we have, it's just a little bit more to me of a style change or style shift, if you will. I like the style of defense that the Sharks play. Sharks are a little bit more prone to playing what I might call blanket style defense. Not as much of the aggression on trying to attack the puck, poke the puck out with the stick. Maybe not as much aggression on trying to get huge hits on the offense for the other team. But rather you see the Sharks do a pretty decent job of trying to just cover their man so that they don't have the ability to get a clean shot on the net, or they don't have the ability to make an accurate and precise pass. And that's how we try to disrupt the game. Now, obviously, statistics, we can't just completely run with stats, and I never will. But if you watch the games and you compare the stats, you will come away saying, well, something's just not working here on the blue line for the San Jose Sharks. So whether that's style, personnel, coaching, there's a few things in all of those categories that need to be changed. And so for me, one is a more aggressive PK. San Jose Sharks were unfortunately one of the worst teams on the PK, and that was something that you saw them stumbling late in the season on that. For their PK, the Sharks were sitting not middle of the pack, but maybe about like 22nd, 23rd in the PK for a good decent amount for the season. Then kind of toward the end of the season, you did see it kind of starting to fall by the wayside. And we ended the season not looking pretty good. And here's some statistics that I pulled for that. So the PK percentage, their success rate, basically the percentage of the amount of time that the PK is successful at killing the power play opportunity. San Jose Sharks are at 76.4%. Doesn't seem like a bad number, but that does sit them 26th in the NHL. Once again, common theme towards the end of the pack there. Now, this is the one. Close your ears here, Sharks fans, if you don't want to hear the really bad stats. PK defensive zone time. That is so big. The longer that the puck stays in the defensive zone, the more opportunities the opposing offense is going to have shots on the net, right? That's why you saw the Sharks almost 30 shots on net per game. The San Jose Sharks, for their PK defensive zone time, the amount of time they spend in their own defensive zone on the PK, 31st in the NHL, second to last at 63.1%. And they have allowed the sixth most power play goals this entire season at 58. So it was different in yesterday's video when we were looking at the offensive zone time, and then we compared it to the PK offensive zone time. You actually saw an improvement with the San Jose Sharks. Now we're seeing the opposite. We see a decrease. We see a regression for the San Jose Sharks defense when they get into that power play, or I should say PK, the powering the penalty kill. But nonetheless, that that is proof in the pudding there that the San Jose Sharks have a huge need on defense. I think something that can really help out is transitioning to a little bit more of an aggressive style. Doesn't have to be completely on the PK. I would like to see it on the full strength 5-on-5 as well. But the PK, per the statistics, is where we really need some help here. And so I think natural transition from certain players to different players that we'll talk about in another episode is going to help quite a bit. But for now, just looking at the team as a whole, that's something that really could benefit the San Jose Sharks coming in the next season. And so the third thing that the San Jose Sharks need, well, we're going to talk about size and right-handed balance. Now, what do you mean by that, Jimmy? Well, as of right now, right, I do expect one, if not both, of Mario Ferraro or Vinny Desharnais to return. Once again, I'll talk about that in another video. But as of this moment in time right now, per the NHL contracts who are on the San Jose Sharks, you have Dmitry Orlov, you have Sam Dickinson, and you have Luca Cagnoni. That's all that you have returning to the San Jose Sharks. Obviously, a big veteran, and then two youngsters that are absolutely going to need some more help, support in the offseason and next season too. But all three are left-handed defensemen. Most of the San Jose Sharks defensemen last season were left-handed defensemen. So I would like to find a balance there if possible. Get someone who's more right-handed just for that natural ability. Dmitry Orlov is pretty good at playing both. He is more predominantly left-handed, but nonetheless, we have some versatility there, but we do want to see players play naturally at their natural position because that's their comfort zone. That's where you're going to unlock most of their ability, in my opinion at least. So right-handed is what we might need, but we also need size. Once again, whether that comes from the re-signing of the players that are hitting the free agent market or looking to find somebody else, the only person that we really have out of the three currently on contract that has real good size to him is Sam Dickinson. 6'3", 200 pounds. That dude's a tank, if you will. But we also know that Sam Dickinson, even though he has the size, he doesn't have the experience and necessarily the NHL IQ yet to really even that size out. Now, Dmitry Orlov, he's 5'11", 215 pounds, so he does pack some pretty decent size there. Not tremendous, but not small either. Luca Cagnoni, on the other hand, we all know that's his downside, is his size, 5'9", 180. I'd like to see one, if not two more additions to our blue line that is well above the 6 foot. Obviously, Vinny Desharnais was 6'7", so that's what I mean when players might return for that size aspect. But we do need some size there. I would like to get someone that's a little bit more known for laying the hit on people, getting a little bit more aggression on the blue line. The Sharks need some intimidation factor. Size can always bring intimidation factor, and so that's what I want to see. The Sharks need toughness. They need intimidation. They need someone that's going to go out there and not be scared to rough somebody up. So I think that can really help the Sharks out. Not sure exactly how it's going to come to the San Jose Sharks, but you better believe this defense is going to look a lot different come into next season. So the last thing I did want to touch on, and it's just a small, real quick one, because this is about defense, but I also did mention yesterday we touched base on some special teams as well. Just a very quick statistics on our goalies. We did have an .881 save percentage this season as a whole, which really just means two goalies balanced out, but really means most of that is coming from Yaroslav Askarov. We know that he played most of the games. So 25th in the NHL in our save percentage. That will improve naturally with the coaching and experience, just like with the youngsters on the blue line. You're not going to see really any changes with the goalies, my friends. You'll see Askarov bat. You'll see Alex Nedeljkovic, who just signed an extension or should say this season, but not much change is coming there. So just be very well prepared and put all your money into that Yaroslav Askarov bucket, whatever you want to call that, and bet your money on him progressing, because that will be our goalie room coming to next season. So that's what we need here. That's the recap for this episode. A little shorter than the offensive one, just because there's not as many moving pieces when it comes to the defense, but that's what I would like to see. The defense has to give. Something has to improve on this defense. And so that's where it gets a little scary. I like the players that are hitting the free agency. There are some Sharks that I'd like to see return to Team Teal. But part of me also is thinking, well, as much as I like these individuals, and I like them as human beings and personalities, is it time for the Sharks to look elsewhere? Because they don't need a slight improvement on defense. The Sharks need a huge improvement on defense. The goals allowed, I want to see us go from 30th, 3.5 goals a game, closer to 3 goals a game next season, right? Closer to maybe like 20th in the NHL. I want to see a dang good improvement when it comes to that. And so there will be a lot of changes. And that's something that we'll talk about once again coming up. Looking at my calendar here for when that might be coming up. Most likely be coming up maybe in a couple of weeks, if not maybe next week. Some videos on what individual players I'd like to see come to the San Jose Sharks for the blue line. But all I have for you all today. Appreciate everybody for tuning in to Sharks Latest. We have a whole lot going on this off season. Many fun videos. Always open to hearing what you all want to hear from me, because this show is not just for me to have some fun talking Sharks, my friends. This show is for you. So give me some comments below as well. Let me know what kind of off-season topics you want me to talk about here on Sharks Latest, and I'll do my best to satisfy you all. So that's all I have today. Hope you all have a fantastic Tuesday. Make sure you are reading up on all the greatest and latest San Jose Sharks news. And if you're not, make sure you're here tomorrow morning so that we'll have another opportunity to educate you on the San Jose Sharks. Let's keep it real. Let's keep it teal, everybody. Your boy Jimmy is out.